Alright guys, welcome back to another video. This is the weekly review of the portfolio here on M1 Finance, and this is the Dividend Doggo Show on YouTube. And I am bringing you into a look at my weekly update and what I've been doing with investments this week. This week was a pure hold week. There were no buys in the dividend portfolio, even though we had a bunch of dividends come in. There's a very specific reason for this that I'll get into later, but you can see that the cash balance is up. It's up to 1764, which is pretty phenomenal. That is 100% dividends earned over the past week. So what we're going to do is take a look. As you can see, the portfolio is back up, getting close to those highs. I really want to crest over that 600k mark, but it's going to have to wait a little bit longer, I think, unless market gains kick it up this week. But I do want to bring you into the weekly performance here. We earned $328 in dividend income that's going to be coming in for July. And then we earned a total market gain of $8,433.39 for a total gain of $87.6150. That's about 1.49%. This is money weighted average return for the week on the portfolio, meaning that we had a pretty good week. We struggled 2 weeks ago, and then the market kind of clawed its way back up. Some of the holdings had a bit of a sell-off, but they're back. They're right back up where they were. So this is a pretty decent week overall. I would love it if every week was just like this, but there's a lot of ups and downs with investing and roller coaster rides that you get to go on. So as you can see, only one thing was red for the week. That would be real estate, and that is a very, very tiny red position there. Overall, if we take a dive into the real estate portfolio here, you'll notice LTC is gone. I did swap around a couple of things, which I might show you, but overall LTC just rolled into ABR, and I just had it rebuy into this particular pie. I got rid of the position entirely. I just don't have much confidence in them. They've been down for quite some time and just not really recovering well, and I wanted to kind of trim down the portfolio's overall amount of stocks in there, because I'm just not that interested in spending a ton of time researching and keeping up with these stocks. I'd rather just put the money into an ETF is kind of my decision. I do have some high conviction stocks that I'll probably still be monitoring, and I may buy new positions based upon that, but LTC just wasn't one of the ones that I really think I care about all that much. And it wasn't a huge position in the portfolio either. But as you can see, ABR is down a little bit this week. I did do the buy. I will show. I had forgotten about that I had deleted a couple of stocks out of the portfolio and then just rolled that money in. So I will actually show you guys that. But it was down a little bit overall. Just kind of weekly fluctuation. I'm not too worried about 3%. Especially on money weighted average. As you can see here, Come On Money was up a little bit. Healthcare came up significantly. As you know, AbbVie is fluctuating pretty significantly every couple weeks. It seems to drop a little bit and then come right back up, but overall it's doing really well. That's a very sizable portion of the portfolio. VST, I will dive in because I know I got a lot of people that want to hear about the stock. VST's value is up over my cost basis significantly now at this point. About it's a 1904 is what it ended up the week for, and that's very nice to see, as it's had a little bit of a downturn since the 20s that it was at earlier this year, which is what caused me to start buying in. So as you can see, my cost basis is 111,724 and 66 cents. So it's pretty nice to see this above my average share price now. And the dividend rolled in, which was $900 off of this position on June 30th. So that is part of about half of what this cash balance is sitting there. I would reinvest it, but as you can see, I already feel like I'm a little overweight with this position, and my original goal was only 2,000 shares, so I'm going to leave it where it's at for now. have an interesting opportunity. In the monthly stocks, I only really hold 3 stocks in this, and they're not a very high conviction set of stocks. However, BST has a rights offering that I am going to accept, which is where that cash balance is going. Now, I had a couple questions about that rights offering, and I dug into it a little bit, went around and around with M Finance reps to figure out exactly how this was going to work. Basically, I just have to have the cash balance in there. They will take it out when the offerings go through around the 14th, I believe it ends. Then they will take that money and purchase the new issued shares, and that is basically going to purchase about 38 shares of BST's new issuance. I'm not sure what the additional ticker is off the top of my head, but I have enjoyed having this stock. The one thing about owning BST is the expense ratio is relatively high. It's really hard to really care about that, though, when you look at what the money weighted average return for the stock has been over even just 1 year. It's still pretty fabulous. If you look at all time, it's absolutely amazing. I only started this position out with a cost basis of a little under $1,400. So that's saying quite a bit that the position is up this high, and it has paid out a pretty significant dividend yield. And it's a monthly payer, which is fantastic to me. I do have some regrets about not putting a little bit more behind the stock when I initially bought into it. But I was really leery based upon that. So you can see I started buying the stock initially in August. This was when I opened the portfolio. This was in here from the get-go. And I just bought in. And then I had a little bit in this pie that I dropped out. I added some more and more money to it. It started out relatively low. And it just kind of took off from there. And then, came down for the COVID crash, and then it's just kind of come back up. I had a couple other stocks in here initially, I believe, and that's when I said I took some out. I took some stocks out, but then I think I sold them and then just added a little bit more value in here, a little bit more money to it when I did that. So I'm curious to see how that's going to end up, but M1 Finance, if you do accept the rights, they claim that they charge a $50 fee for doing the manual legwork on taking and accepting that offer. So unless you have a decent amount of shares, it probably isn't worth you getting the 5% discount on shares from your rights offering. You can haggle with customer support and get them to give you a promotional credit for the $50 if you really fight with them over it. Or if you have a sizable portfolio, I'm not sure how they decide who's going to get that or not, but several members of the Joseph Carlson Discord community have gotten that fee waived. It's not really waived, it's just they give you a cash credit to your balance and they charge you for it. So they charge you the 50, but they give you $50. So that was kind of interesting to figure out and look at. But we're going to go in. This is what the afternoon trading was for July 1st. So this was on, what was that? Thursday? Yeah. So on Thursday, I did a little conversion. I sold out of Broadcom. I only had one share. I sold completely out of CAX. A lot of you know that I bought into this early. This was a short-term play that worked out really well. This was from Misery in Discord. He found this company and I dropped some money into it and it just ran up really, really quickly. Too quickly for my being comfortable with the amount of money that it was. So I took profits and rolled that into other stock. LTC is what I sold. That went into Realty Income and ABR. And then the tech stuff went into Apple and Raytheon. Interesting enough, I found out that an uncle that I hadn't talked to or anything from one of my cousins when I was on vacation in Vegas started working at Raytheon as a software engineer about 3 years ago. And I just haven't had any contact with them. So found that kind of interesting. I should have bought more Raytheon. They've been going up. It's a pretty solid company overall. I might add more to it in the future, not just because I have an uncle that works there, but because it's something that's in the portfolio, and it's a pretty decent looking stock all the way around. I've been looking into it and digging into the contracts that they've been getting. They're doing a bit of defense contracting with the government, which is interesting to me. But overall, that's it. As you can see, there were no other buys. That was just 3 sells that swapped around some positions. You can see we had some hefty, chunky dividends come in. Schwab came in. VST, I will go over all of those in the portfolio update for June for the dividend income totals. So as you can see, if I go into the dividend, the Doggo Pie, we're looking really good. We're on track to try to hit some goals and cross over that $600,000 threshold. We did have one other stock that paid out, which is not in this portfolio, and it is listed in the Propeller if you've looked at that in my prior videos, and that would be Tencent, and I will go over what that paid. That was my single largest dividend payment ever. So that's pretty exciting to me, and the June income was absolutely fantastic because of that. So I will go over that in a very near future video. It'll likely be out sometime Sunday or Monday, depending on how the holiday weekend goes. If I've got enough time tomorrow, I might sneak in a little bit of filming time and do that for y'all. I do really appreciate everyone who is clicking that like button and leaving comments or questions. Even if it's a criticism about the portfolio or the holdings inside of it, give them to me. That's why I'm here, and I'm open about what my purchases are and open about what I'm trying to do, which is up that monthly dividend income and continue raising the yearly income until I hit that goal of about $80,000. So I do want to thank everyone again for all the wishes for Doggo. He is going to the vet to see a specialist in about a little over 2.5 weeks. Unfortunately, all of the vets here in LA are super backed up, especially with cancer patients. It's apparently a really difficult time right now because a lot of pets were adopted, and all of the vets are very overwhelmed here. So I will keep everyone updated on his condition. Right now he's getting lots of treats and extra activity. We're going to drive down to the beach and walk him on the beach tomorrow, and just kind of live life. Take every day as you can. Every day, don't take it for granted, and keep investing. Stay calm even if the market's irrational and crazy, and keep building those dividend portfolios. Thank you all for watching, and have a great afternoon, and enjoy your holiday weekend. Stay safe out there.